Hello. I'm gonna do the nightly routine and then I'm gonna play some Tales. Because this game only takes like 10 minutes. This is not a time-consuming game. Let's put it that way. Everybody's complaining about it right now, and for good reason. This event's also been going on a really long time, and like the rewards are too good to pass up, so... If you're going to play this game, you need to just do this same map over and over. Which I don't mind, I'm used to grinding, but... It really feels like they need to put out a content patch. This event's been going for like almost a month. I think it's gonna go for like 40 days, which is a little bit too long. I mean, you could do like 10 runs of this a day, and that's enough to get one of the memories. So you only need a week to max somebody out, unless you care about resonance and stuff, which is like min-max things. Not entirely necessary. Think how fast this guy dies. He dies in seconds. The music doesn't even kick in. I'm just trying to get some memories from my other characters, so I don't really have anything else to get from the event shop. And I will easily cash for memories later on. Right now there's no point, but in the future there will be. They'd probably have more monthly earnings for this game if they just let you. They had like a $20 pack that gave you like 3,000 stamina. Everybody would buy it, even the free-to-play people would. It's definitely a stark contrast from KOF, where he just had, like, infinite stamina all the time. Pretty much would just run out of daily things to do. The stamina was, like, a non-issue. Which was nice. If you wanted to grind all day, you could. You just needed to save up for a couple days. You could just grind on that game for as long as you wanted. I don't know, this game is pretty free-to-play friendly though, so I guess there has to be some kind of limitation. KOF All-Star gearing isn't that much different from this. Except for the fact that every character has, they have one or two supers. And the thing about that game is if you don't have the super, the character is useless. Like, this game is different. They don't have anything like that. You have your best-in-slot weapon, and that's the only thing you can't get for free. I mean, you could still get it for free, but the chances are going to be pretty crappy. Well, I think it's a balancing thing. And KOF lets you the main cards you can just put on anybody, and you can pretty much instantly make them playable. But the thing is, if they don't have their super, they're half of a character. That's how that game works. That game is more lax with gearing than like Honkai Impact, a lot of the more popular games, but it's still really heavily weighted on the way that the supers work. I got a couple of the Dead or Alive characters without spending any money, and you know, since I quit the game, I didn't spend on the I didn't spend on it at all. I didn't spend a single cent on it. And now I know those characters are useless. I'm fully aware. They're like half of a character, but, you know, I quit the game, so I don't care. But that's how they feed into the fear of missing out. They give you the free rubies and stuff in that game, but it's nowhere near enough to get everything. It's basically just like a trap. Like, okay, even if you get all the characters for free, we have insane luck, you're still gonna have to spend money. And if you don't spend money, the characters are never coming back. So, those characters will be perpetually useless. I'm glad this game doesn't have anything like that. Like, they give you like 5,000 rubies. That's enough to maybe get like a couple of the characters if you're lucky. But then you need their cards, and the cards don't come easy. All the card supers in that game they're really good because they're long animations. So for a lot of the endgame content, they're like required. Alright, hope you liked the PGR gameplay. It's thrilling, I know. Fight that same boss and kill him in 20 seconds every time. Do that for 5 minutes and then you can't play the game anymore. Isn't it great? It's just the epitome of blue-balling the player, this game. I can still do this at least.
長か。
Oh, he doesn't have anything on, does he? Well, he's just gonna have to roll with that. I don't know what he takes. Actually, let's check. I might have it already. So I've been doing grinding on this. Let's see. What is his recommended gear? Voltaire and Gloria. What do I have on him already? Actually, I have a lot of these, huh? Alright. Let's get him buffed up a little bit. No, he has a crap weapon. So I need some more characters. A lot of junk in here, too, from all the farming. Clean it out a bit. Is there a better weapon I can give him? Because that's a pile of crap right there. Alright. Yeah, he definitely breaks the age-old stereotype of slow characters being shit. Characters that use slow weapons being shit. I really appreciate that. Yeah, S-rank Kamui is he's a legend. He uses a generally crappy weapon in video games, which is like a great sword. A slow type weapon, and he actually makes it usable. That's pretty impressive. Because most of the time, slow weapons almost always lose to DPS weapons, faster weapons. Almost always. I can't think of too many games where that's not the case. Like, one exception would be, like, Max in Streets 2. Max is actually the fastest character. But Max is fucking busted. Max is an anomaly, just like S-rank Kamui is. Yeah, I'm still working on the other characters. Trying to get all the memories and stuff. So I already have Alpha, like, pretty much maxed out. I have Alpha at 5K, 5.2K TCP. Is there supposed to be an update for this soon? I haven't been like following their social media at all. I just play this at night. I just play at night because this game takes like no time. Can always fit it in. Yeah, the only thing I'm missing on her is second stig what's it called? Resonance. It's the only thing I'm missing, but I can't really cash on anything right now, so that'll come later. She's pretty much maxed out. She's just waiting to increase the level. That's all that's really left. Now I'm just working on rounding out the rest of my roster, and that's mostly just getting the memories. I need to get better weapons for them, but I'll just cash for those at some other time. Service game funds are going to be pretty tapped next month, so I don't know when that will be. After I pay off all the games. Alright, what's ranked down today? What's ranked down? Ooh, Beowulf and Ebony and Ivory are ranked up, so we're gonna do this with Dante. Let's go ahead and knock this out. It's gonna make it even easier. And then I'm gonna be doing my my LMBS memorial service. Good fight. That was clean. Go ahead and knock these out. Let's do it one more time. I don't like doing the S rank. S rank is, it's a lot more punishing for not much more reward. A rank's a lot faster. And less obnoxious combinations of enemies. The S rank one of this mode just... It's a ton of, like, the enigmas and stuff, and they're just not fun to fight in this game. They're actually the most powerful, most broken enemies in this game are the enigmas. You're gonna do this again? What do you need help with? If you're a troll, you're getting banned right now. I am not in the mood right now. What is it you want? I'm giving you like a minute to answer. And if you say anything that's even remotely trolly, you're out of here. I already dealt with this today. I just want to play my damn video game in peace. I'm not in the mood right now. I've had a really rough day with my mind, and people come in here and troll. Doesn't help. I'll give this person a couple more seconds to reply. Not feeling it tonight. What is it you need help with? Can I just play my video game in peace? You need to go somewhere where you can get help. Please just... Why can't I just play a damn game without somebody trying to do this to me? What is it you need? Go ask someone else. I can't take on anyone else's stress right now, especially people I don't know. Speak up now. You have like one chance. And I'm not doing this tonight. I just want to play my damn video games in peace. I doubt someone named I Can't Pay Child Support was probably being serious, but it bothers me that that's the second time someone's done that to me today. I try to be empathetic towards people, but you come in here and you do it like 3 times in one day. And with a name like I Can't Pay Child Support, I think you're just trying to rile me up. And I really don't need it right now. There's not even enough people in here to piss off. I don't get, like, high viewership. Why can't you do that in some big channel stream? Get more of a rise out of it. It's earlier today, I think it's the same person. Really soured my mood. I just want to play some damn video games and go to bed. I don't need people trying to get a rise out of me. And I've been very helpful to people that are actually being real about needing help with something, or they need advice. I'm a very helpful streamer. But when it's obvious you're just trying to piss me off, I don't have any patience for that. No streamer should. I'm not popular or rich by any definition of those words, but I still have like 10,000 subscribers on here. I don't care if one of them leaves because I tell them honestly, you're just trying to piss me off. Also, it really turns me off when people, streamers try to have this super nice persona. Especially since I know, I've been doing this for 15 years, I know how fucking horrible and rude people can be. Because when you're anonymous on the internet, you can just say whatever the hell you want. And there's no consequences. It's not possible to be nice to everybody. Sometimes you have to stick up for yourself. You need a really thick skin to stream. Very thick skin. Any kind of content creation. People are gonna spew garbage at you for no reason other than the fact that, you know, there's no consequence to it. You're not gonna get locked up for being a dick on the internet. Worst that will happen is you'll get banned. When you remove the consequence from being an asshole, it, especially on the internet, you get the worst kind of people. I've had lots of terrible things flung at me, just because I have a differing opinion from other people on a video game of all things. Like, come on. I don't really play, like, deep, thought-provoking video games, folks. I play, like, niche action and indie games. Why do you care? Like, just let me play the games I like in peace. I'm not asking for a lot here. Yeah, the internet has done a lot of great things for, like, meeting people that will be your friends for life and stuff, but it's made it a lot easier for people to be assholes. Either anonymously or just to somebody you actually know. It's incredibly easy to just screw someone up. You know, it can be like your best friend or something from a couple years ago, and you message them, you find them on, like, Twitter or whatever, and then they just ghost you. And it's like, you can't really do that in person. If you saw them in person, they would at least have to, like, pretend that they still give a shit about you, and that they still want you in their life, but on the internet, it's like, like, I don't want to talk to this person. I don't really resonate with them anymore, so I'm just gonna block them, and then you never hear from them again. I've had that happen to me countless times. The internet has made it really easy to just screw someone up mentally. Random trolls or people calling you horrible names for things that don't even matter in the grand scheme of things as an adult, like an opinion of a video game of all things. Like, come on now, grow up. I never said I was like the ultimate source, undeniable source on video game opinions. The problem is when you like something that's unpopular, people just assume that, you know, you're trying to rile people up or something. Or that you're a sellout. It's like, no, I'm being fucking honest about media I'm consuming. And I'm in a position where I actually try to be honest about the shit that I play on here. Because I don't get paid to play shit on here. The only funds I make is just off the content I make. It's weird that people want to be sugar-coated opinions on, like, video games of all things. It's like, if you want that, just go watch all the streamers that get sponsored to play them. And don't actually like the games, and don't bother to get good at them. don't come into some small passion project channel like this and complain that I don't have the same opinion as everybody else. I've always kept it real on here. I've always done that. And I don't care if it makes me less funds. That's how I want to run this channel. Because that's the kind of content I want to consume. I want to consume content from people that are actually honest about what they're doing. And not just trying to ride off whatever the flavor of the week game is, or whatever sponsor is giving them bags of money to play it. I'm not interested in watching that content, so I don't want to produce it myself. We got a ton of that when Dynasty Warriors 9 came out. Just even saying that game had some positive traits, and people were flinging horrible insults at me. I didn't deserve it. Nobody does, really. People calling me shills and stuff, it's like, where's the money from Koei Tecmo? I've been promoting their shit for free for over a decade now. 16 years. And they haven't paid me a dime, so I have no reason whatsoever to sugarcoat my opinion. And if you want that, if you want a sugar-coated opinion from people who don't actually have any passion for the games they play, well, there's plenty of places to do that. There's countless people you can go if that's all you want. You're not gonna find it here. Like, I don't watch sponsored streams of games I like, because I know those people probably don't even know what the game is. They're taking it because they're getting money, which is fine. Streaming is content creation is very unreliable income. Unless you're at the top and you're making, like, at least minimum wage every month. Even with all the fluctuations. I don't front people for taking those sponsorships. I mean, it's a hustle. A hustle is a hustle. But I'm not going to go to those streams for, like, an actual educated opinion on those games. I would go to somebody around my size, or even smaller, that's actually has some experience with that game, or at least the genre. It depends on what kind of game it is. Alright, time for the LMBS memorial service. Hold on. Alright, I gotta set this up. Hold on. It's a little complicated to get this game working. I'm gonna try one more thing here. See if I can get this working with game capture, but I doubt it. My recording software just does not pick it up. Let's try one thing, though. Otherwise, I'll just capture my desktop. Alright. Is it gonna pick this up? No dice. Let's see here. Let's see if it'll detect the source now. No, I'm gonna have to do desktop capture. Alright. Let's get cheat engine up. I'd like to get a consensus too, but generally I just gravitate to the same people because I know they've been playing the games that I like for a long time, and therefore I can trust their opinion. The problem is that the algorithm does not favor passion at all. It favors numbers and clickbait and dishonesty. It does not favor people who are actually passionate at all. I am proof of that, and a lot of other people that that are known to play the same kinds of games that I do. None of us are really getting what we deserve, but that's just kind of the reality of it. The algorithm is all about being dishonest and making clickbait, cheating the system, and not actually being honest about what you enjoy. A lot of them don't even. They don't even. They don't even disclose that they're being sponsored, which is illegal. I don't know why this isn't working. I'm looking for a cheat table right now. Hold on. See if I can find one. Might not like the game's ID. I might have the wrong dump of this. I'm just give me a second here. I'm looking through stuff. All right, I think I found one. My recording software is not it's not latching on to it's not latching on to the emulator. It doesn't detect it. All right, let me see if I get into the game if this works. The game itself is fine. It's just my recording software doesn't like it. Ooh, what gives? This isn't working. Damn it. There's another one here. Let's just go ahead and reset cheat engine. Alright, link the process to the emulator and load up the table. Alright, this one's going quite a bit farther. Cheat engine just freaked out. What happened? Did it crash? I probably have the wrong build of this. Yeah, every time I try to activate something, it crashes. Well, that dampens my my interest in playing this. I can't use this. Hold on a minute. I might have made it work. Let me test something here. Let's see. Okay, what is my max AC now? Let's try getting into a fight. Let's see what happens when I get to a fight. Yeah, it did work. Emulation, folks. Like, I have it selected, but it's not doing anything. I didn't get the bonus experience either. Oh. So much for that idea. I did update my emulator. Probably the values have changed. Because that's how Cheat Engine works. If the values change, then the game won't pick it up. Usually when games get updated. In this case, the game didn't get updated. This is an old game, but... Well, this is what happens when publishers don't put their games on a relevant platform. They don't care to preserve it, so I have to do shit like this. It's weird that they demonize emulation so much. It's like, well, if you made the games affordable and on a relevant platform, then people wouldn't have to do it. What do you think killed piracy for music and movies? iTunes and Netflix. Those basically killed piracy for those mediums. You know, nobody in their right mind is gonna go sift through a bunch of shady websites to go download like a single or something or a movie when you could just pay $20 and just watch it. But the game industry does not understand that. Very behind in the times. Remember Napster? When like all the music industry was freaking out over Napster? And then a couple years later, iTunes came out. And what did that do? It effectively killed music piracy. It reduced it to the point where it's just far less effective to go pirate a song or an album than it is to just buy it for $10. But the game industry refuses to understand that. They demonize people for using emulation and stuff, and it's like, well, I don't want to do this. I'll tell you right now. If I could buy this game right now on PC, I would do it. Instantly. I would, like, overdraft my debit card to go do it. But that's not an option. I don't have the ability to do that, so I have to mess around with stuff like this. Same thing with movies. Does anybody really pirate a movie anymore? Not really. You can just watch it on Netflix, or just pay the extra fee to watch something the day it was supposed to come out in the theater, which is way better than downloading some dude holding up his phone to a screen. Shit quality. It's like, is that really worth not paying the $30 to go see it in the theater? No. Some crappy, like, 240p rip of, like, Star Wars Episode 2. It's like, is it really worth it? No, it's not. It's a much worse experience. You're getting it for free, but it's way worse than actually legally consuming it. I can't get any of these tables to work. You know, I'm gonna try to find the DLC. I'm gonna put some music on. I'm gonna try to find the DLC, because if I can install that... If I can install the DLC, then I'll have all the stuff. The DLC is very hard to find. Let's put some music on. Alright, I think I found something. Yeah, I think I found the DLC. I gotta work some magic to get it to work, so just bear with me here. I'm trying to get all this ready for a Tales, little Tales retrospective before Arise comes out. But as I've mentioned before, it's a real pain in the ass to get this stuff to work, because they don't... Tales is the least accessible JRPG series out of all the legacy ones. Final Fantasy and Ys are, they're most accessible. Persona's actually pretty bad, too. They only have, 4 golden and, 5 scramble. They don't have any of the other games. The Tales is better than... It's more accessible than Persona, but it's pretty much the youngest non-Persona JRPG series, and they do such a shit job maintaining it. Alright, I got it. I'm gonna try to set this up. Shouldn't take much longer. I can't show myself doing any of this, obviously. I gotta hide it. Oh, it's the wrong one. Fuck. Wrong one. Such a pain to play Tales games. It's real still a pain in the ass to get this shit. I legally own this game too, that's what makes it worse. I have a legal copy of this. I'm like looking at it right now. And I have to do this shit. It really pisses me off. None of these links work. Oh, man. They're all on, like, really shady sites, too. That's why I do this on the phone. I always do these kinds of things on the phone, just I don't have anything important on my phone at all. It's just cat photos and emulators. And like 3 service games, that's all that's on there. I don't have like historical documents on there or shit. Oh, I didn't play it. I skipped that game. It's not for me. Might be making some progress here. It's probably not going to work, though. Alright, let's try this. Alright. I think it may be time for a video game. I have just a hunch, but it may actually be time to play a video game. Maybe. Just maybe. There might actually be some video gaming going on very shortly. Big gaming. Alright, I gotta set up the scene again. Hold on. It's a moment of truth. Is it gonna actually pick up the DLC? You can't buy it anymore, by the way. You can't buy it anymore. That ship has sailed. They got rid of PS3 support. You have to still have a PS3. Oh, my controller's not plugged in. Oh, that would help. Hold on. I don't know if it's gonna pick it up. Oh, it did. Nice. Oh, yeah, they're all here. Nice. Yep, it worked. I think it worked. Sure looks like it. Alright, so let's, yeah, my AC went up. I gave mine to my neighbor. I gave mine to my neighbor, so it's over there. I don't use the PS3 anymore because it's a nightmare to capture off of because it has HDCP. HDCP was worst thing about being a content creator with a PS3 back in those days.
Okay.
I had to get a splitter that stripped HDCP.
Okay.
Oh, that leveled me up to level 50. Let's go ahead and reload. I don't want that much. I don't want that much stuff. Okay, what are these levels? Alright. I don't want to use a whole bunch of those. I still want there to be some semblance of challenge. I just want to skip the grind because I did everything in this game. I'm just trying to make some quick videos here. I'm not trying to grind my dick off. You can't buy this stuff anymore. You can't. It's not possible to buy it anymore. So, like I said, this is the shit you deal with when you don't make your games available anymore. This game feels so good to play. This is the best LMBS game. Hands down. That's why I got rid of my PS3. I gave it over to my neighbors. I got tired of having to strip HDCP to record anything. PS3 had a lot more interesting exclusives than the 360, but it was like 1,000 times harder to record. Because the HDCP was like enabled all the time. You could not turn it off. When the PS4 came out, they have an option to disable HDCP when you're playing games so that you can use your capture card. It only turns itself on when you're watching something that you could pirate, like a movie or something. The PS4 does not have PS3 backwards compatibility, so...
have been dispatched. The candidate has completed the assignment.
HDCP blocks capture. It was the worst thing about having a PS3. If you do this kind of thing. Because you had to get a splitter that stripped it. Which I still have, by the way. I still have that splitter. Looking at it right now. It's just a real pain to set up. It's way harder than what I do now.
As your edge, disintegrate! As your edge, disintegrate! 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 Okay.
It's very hard to find splitters that strip HDCP. Very hard. I think that's why most people that still do PS3 content, especially stuff like this, they just emulate it. PS3 emulation's gotten a lot better the past few years. As long as you have a good enough PC, it's better than the real thing. And there's no HDCP to worry about. The story in this game is DeviantArt fanfiction. It's really bad. The first one had a pretty decent story, and then this one just went off the rails. They have, like, whole alternate universes and shit. it makes no sense, and the ending is probably some of the worst depression porn I've ever seen.
Thanks. I owe you one.
Sure.
But I was told...
I wonder what happens if you flee. Does the game just like end? It's like the whole story happens because he gets on the train, and then he gets the debt. You know, the most fun thing in video games is paying off a debt, right? It's not something we
Go and beat the scary guys up!
we already deal with when we go to college
So,
and get a
are the
student
bad
loan.
people gone now?
Isn't it fun to pay off like a 20 million debt in a video game? Because that's what this game is. This is the student loan simulator 2012. It really is.
Stop the train!
How could anyone do this? The enemy could be hiding anywhere. We better proceed carefully.
Okay.
Stay on guard.
Okay.
Links sure are useful.
Yeah.
I won't hold back. Too easy.
Yeah, this game is a student loan simulator. It really is, though. You sign a contract to pay off debt, and you do it the entire game. Doing menial tasks. It definitely emulates the life of a millennial trying to pay off college debt.
I won't hold
You know how when companies, when they're making like something in a well-known franchise like this, when they trademark it, they call it something else? It would be hilarious if the trademark name for this was Student Loan Simulator 2012. Now, the story is horrendous in this game, but gameplay-wise, this is considered to be one of the best Tales games.
over already?
Definitely the most responsive and most responsive battle system that also has a lot of player expression. But yeah, if you value your brain cells, don't watch the cutscenes in this game. This game was also put out a year after the first one, and like probably like 80% of the assets are recycled. Ironically, they managed to completely fix all the problems with the combat system in this game. That short of a dev cycle.
Too easy.
Zelia 1 is a mess gameplay-wise.
We're almost at the front car. Be on guard. Got it.
But they actually fixed it in this game. Alright, time for Julius.
Let's check it out. Right.
Yeah, protect the final boss. The CEO is the final boss. He's like a boxer.
Okay.
That's one
let's
cool
just
thing
go.
about this game is the final boss is just
It's
a
not
boxer
safe
in like
here,
Kamen
so
Rider
try to stay
armor.
behind us. Okay? The train's
Just a
shaking
dude who
far
just
too
punches a
much.
lot.
Something seems very wrong here.
There!
Bisley.
Overall ready?
Hostiles!
Remember how that feels. Make charge! We got this.
Hey, what about you? Are you okay? No injuries?
There!
Also,
Overall
the,
ready?
the story in this game in the first one is that there's two worlds on the planet, and they are unaware of each other.
Al,
But at the
you
end of the
okay?
game, a bunch of shit happens
Yep,
and they
right
get
as rain.
fused together. And this game it's a very small time skip. I think it's like 1 year. It's been so long since I watched the cutscenes in this game. But in that short period of time, they already have like cell phones. Like not much time passes at all. They just like instantly invent smartphones. You see them use it a couple times.
If I must. We got this. Overall ready?
This game is pretty much the third time that they did the
Yeah.
There!
two worlds on one planet plot. But this is definitely the worst of all of them.
What?
The plot in this is horrendous.
What is this?
What's going on?
What?
Disintegrate! Azure Edge! Disintegrate!
Look out!
Could this have happened?
You know, Symphonia sequel has a dumb plot
you get
too.
Hey,
I think after this game's horrendous plot, they realized that they need to stop doing sequels. Pretty much all the Tales games that do get sequels, they have really, really bad sequels. Really bad plots. Symphonia 2's plot is pretty bad. Not as bad as this, but it's definitely got some character assassination going on. And And the legacy characters are treated like shit in that game.
Well,
And they're completely useless. They have a hard level cap, so they're not even worth using. Alright, time for the student loan.
it's up to you whether or not you accept it, of course.
The student loan simulator.
In any case, we're talking about a small fortune. Consider your options.
This cutscene is pretty great. I'll watch this one. Yeah, let's get some student
Not
debt.
to pressure you unduly, but have you reached your decision? You've made a wise decision.
Are you sure?
It's weird how, like, surreal this
Sorry
is.
about that. The call ran long. Hey, what are you doing?
Oh, he's just taking out a little loan to cover his medical obligations.
Yeah, 20 million.
This bill is huge. Did anyone tell you what'll happen if you sign that? Basically, you'll be tracked via GHS. They'll be monitoring your finances around the clock. You won't be able to buy a stick of gum without them knowing.
A lot of
This game is
debtors
too
can't
real.
manage their money. Lots of them squander the cash they should be using to pay us back.
Those deadbeats waste their money and their lives. But Luger here isn't a deadbeat,
Luger.
is he?
That doesn't...
Or maybe you're saying you'd like to cover his bill.
That's not quite what I was...
Besides, not to be gauche, but haven't you sunk every last gold into your spyrite research?
Hold on, Luger. There's gotta be another way.
Just go grind.
Well, you could always try mooching off of a family member. A solidly employed older brother, for example.
Hey,
Pleasure doing business with you. I will transfer the amount of 20 million gold into Mr. Rideau's account. Hey, wait!
I forgot to include your veterinary fees. My apologies for the oversight. See me if you ever need follow-up treatment. I'll even give you the frequent patient
Oh,
discount.
wow, what a deal. Student Loan Simulator 2012.
Luger, please don't look so
You know, there's
glum.
that company that
It's my
they
job
keep
to
sending
help
me
you pay off your loan.
they keep sending me emails for like these random simulator games. It's like, why don't they need to make Student Loan Simulator, but then just have it be a port of this game. And that would be the best of both worlds, because we'd have an actual preserved port of this game. That's basically what this game is. It's getting a student loan and having to bust your ass to pay it off, like kill like literal giant monsters to pay it off. That's basically what the game's plot is, and a bunch of stupid stuff like wandering around in alternate universes. Alright, well, I got that working. I don't feel like playing that anymore tonight. It's one game ready for the retrospective. It's just weird how, like, surreal that cutscene is, because it's like the equivalent of having to, like, ride an ambulance in America, and they charge you, like, 10 grand. They charge you, like, 10 grand to ride an ambulance for, like, 5 minutes. and you have to sign off on it. That's what that game is, pretty much. It's basically the life of a college student, just exaggerated to JRPG levels. It's a very good game, gameplay-wise, though. It is the best battle system they've ever done by a large margin. The best LMBS game up there. I'd say, let's do an LMBS tier list right now. Let me go on Tier Maker. Let's see, does someone have a Tales tier list? I'll make one right now for LMBS games. Alright, let me put this up. Make a source. Okay, what's the best one in here? Since the LMBS is going to die in 2 weeks, I should probably do this now. Mothership titles. It's probably the best one. Alright, worst. Let's do the worst games first. Worst. These are pretty much all LMBS games, most of them. Zestiria, shit. Fantasia has not aged well. Legendia is just not really fun to play. Doesn't add anything new to the table. I actually don't even need this many tiers, do I? Probably just do, like... it was the start of the death of the LMBS. The combat system sucked. And they had a lot of stupid gimmicks like the Seraphs and the Malachim. And you couldn't do certain things without them. And pretty much everything was useless except for fusing. And when you fused, you lost like 80% of your moveset. The game was padded out like crazy. The camera was terrible. Pretty much the only good thing about it was the music. The music was very good. But, it's a video game, so that can't really carry... It can't really carry an entire video game. It's not like it's a movie. You have to interact with it, and the gameplay was not very good. Yeah, you needed a Seraphim to fuse, and when you fuse together, you had like 3 moves. It's a really bad game. It's one of the few Tales games I have not finished. I've finished pretty much all the games in here, except some of these ones at the bottom. Fantasia's not a bad game. It's just it's the first game, so it's no different than like Mario 1 or Sonic 1 or Street Fighter 1. They're not bad games. They deserve credit for starting the series, but actually going back and playing them is not really that pleasant because the series has grown so much since then. I'd put Eternia in B. It also has not aged very well. Okay, so the best games: Destiny Remake, Xillia 2, Vespi, Innocence, and Heartsar. This is gameplay, by the way. I'm not talking about the story. Just strictly gameplay. Probably give Bursty a B. it was fun to play, but it still was not the LMBS, so it wasn't really that satisfying. Uh, Probably rank Zelia 1 as C because there's no reason to play it. If you're just into gameplay, story in Zelia 1 is way better than 2's, and 2's story kind of undermines 1, but gameplay wise, Zelia 1 is a mess. They give you the most responsive battle system and the least restrictive battle system, but then all the bosses walk out of combos like every 7 hits, which, much like Samurai Warriors 5, which did a very similar stupid thing, it doesn't make the game any harder. It just prevents you from having fun. And that's shit design, no matter how you slice it. It's one thing if you put that kind of thing in the game and it makes you have to approach it differently, or you have to use more options than just spamming a move, but that's actually the polar opposite of what Zelia 1 is. You could just spam the same move and then snap pivot behind them and then do it again, which is way harder or way easier than actually learning how to do a combo. It's much, much easier. The game is brain dead. There's just like not much to it. At the same time, Jude is busted. Jude is really fun to play in Zelia 1. He is like one of the most busted Tales protagonists. But he's just not in a very good game. I need to make one more. Graces, I would probably give a B. Because Graces was the start of the art tree system, and that shit sucks. It really does. It started, they made the combat more responsive with like the dash cancels and stuff, but you just kind of mash buttons. Air combos are gone, you can't jump anymore. And they really tried to streamline things to the point where it just wasn't really... You didn't have a lot of freedom anymore. You had freedom in movement, but the actual combat, you just kind of button mash. Also, Zestiria is an art tree game too, which is objectively dumbed down. You have a lot less freedom over how you control the character. That was just the beginning of Zestiria's problems, but it was also an art tree game. Berseria, out of all the art tree games, it's definitely the best of the art tree games, but it still feels very restrictive. But if they're going to keep doing art tree games, that was probably the way to do it. You had full freedom over it. You could actually customize it. In the other 2 art tree games, you could not, so it really just forced you to play a certain way. Destiny 2, I actually did not like this game. I did play it for a couple hours. It's a very weird battle system because melee attacks do shit for damage. They do like no damage whatsoever. It's all about just keeping the boss in hit stun so that the people in the back can cast magic. I didn't really like it that much. Rebirth I want to play, but it's probably going to get a translation patch sometime soon. There's an easily accessible version. The battle system in that game is really unique. I just haven't really gotten into it. I'm going to look into that at some point, but I feel like it's going to get translated soon, so I haven't really wanted to bother. I put Symphonia in A. I do think this game has not aged very well, but it's a pretty solid game. It definitely could do with like a remake of some sort. People have a lot of nostalgia for it because it's the Final Fantasy VII of Tales. It's like one of the best-selling games, actually. That and Vespi are like some of the best-selling ones. I don't think it's aged as well. I think people that really put it on a pedestal, have not played it in a long time. But it's a pretty solid game. Definitely better than the stuff down here at the bottom. That's for sure. Better overall package, even though some of these games have some advanced gameplay mechanics, but there's other problems with them. Vesperia is just has a boatload of issues. Fantasia is just an old game that has not gotten a proper remake. Legendia is just boring. It's 30 FPS. There's just Tokugi and Oogi chaining system, which is boring. Zelia 1 is very responsive, but the boss fights suck, and their way of trying to make the game harder actually makes it easier. You can lock enemies in hit stun. You can loop them just by spamming magic. In the speedrun for this game, they do like no melee attacks at all. What they do is they spam fireball and splash, and the enemies they'll just keep trying to tech out of the hit stun, but because you're hitting them so fast, they just get locked in place. So it's an infinite combo without it actually being a combo. And that's like the most efficient way to play that game, which is a testament to how poorly designed the battle system is. The games at the top are all up here for a good reason. Player expression, for one. Responsiveness, although Vesperia is definitely the least responsive game in here. Just having a lot of moves, actual balanced boss mechanics. You can actually combo the bosses, but you have to put more work into it. These aren't in any specific order, by the way. These are just the best games gameplay-wise. Innocence and Hearts are, I think, struck the best balance in terms of letting the player do sick combos, but actually letting the boss fight back. The guard counter system in these games is very satisfying. It's actually similar to how it works in the Killer Instinct that they put out for Xbox One a couple years ago. Those games never get old to play. The satisfaction of a big punish is there, and there's less Tails jank where bosses walk out of hit stun. They do walk out of hit stun, but you can counter and put them back in it, which is very satisfying. A very well done mechanic. It's a shame that they haven't recycled that mechanic. That mechanic is genius. It's the closest they've gotten to like balancing the player's power and the boss's power, instead of it being really heavily skewed in one direction. Like in Berseria, you can just button mash with Velvet, and the bosses can barely do anything. Whereas in Innocence and Hearts are, you actually have to put thought, and you have to stay on your toes. You can't just commit everything to muscle memory. Feels really great. Rest of the games, I already explained them for the most part. Abyss is just a solid Tokugi Ogi free run battle system. Still holds up pretty well, and Tales of the Rays is pretty much just the Abyss battle system, so I'd argue it has aged pretty well because that game makes a ton of money. Everything else up here, these are just genuinely good gameplay. No, Symphonia 2 is an escort title. Although they abolished the whole mothership and escort system, because most of the escort games were shit. Tales of the Tempest is shit. Symphonia 2 it's not a bad game, but I think it's a pretty bad sequel, because the legacy characters are treated like garbage in that game. It's baffling how pointless they are. They have a hard level cap, so you can't even use them on like the harder difficulties and stuff. They can't level up. Story-wise is whatever, but gameplay-wise, it's kind of weird to have all of them come back, and then none of them are even remotely worth using. I'm sure with emulation and stuff now, you could probably fix that, but just the base intended experience, they're pointless. And the fact that they try to like character assassinate Lloyd, which is like such a dumb subplot, because It's obvious Lloyd is not going to go around and destroy towns and shit. What possible reason would he have to do that? After he played like 70 hours of the first game, but like they just keep going on and on and on about it. Like the new character Emil is all pissed off. And it's like, okay, it's obvious Lloyd didn't do this stuff. It's obvious it's somebody else impersonating him. But it gets dragged on forever. It's like they think that you're like a 3-year-old. And then when you finally get to play as him, he's useless. Because he can't level up. So you can't even really put him in the party. Does this even have everybody? This is missing a lot of characters. I was gonna do a gameplay tier list. But this is missing a lot of characters. Such a shit tier list. I wonder if they have another one. Oh, this one has all the mothership titles. All the escort titles. Well, I haven't really played a lot of these, though, extensively. I can tell you right now, worst. Crestoria. Worst game. This game is fucking... I don't understand what the point of it is. Why would you make a turn-based Tales game? Why? It's just... I just don't understand the reasoning behind that. Like... you take the one thing that's consistently unique about the Tales series that you can't get in any other JRPG series outside of the couple times that Final Fantasy has done action. And you take it away, and what's left? There's nothing left. It's a shitty, generic mobile game that happens to have characters from an ancient franchise. There's nothing else to it. And it's not even interesting turn-based combat either. It's just a piece of shit. I don't understand why that game exists. I really don't. I question it every day. Why does that game exist? It just pisses me off. Now, this is a good list. Let's do a gameplay tier list. Let's start with the best first. Actually, a lot of these are NPCs. Oh man, Chalcedony. He'd be up there for sure. Chalcedony's a beast, especially in Heartsar. Yeah, I could probably do it from here, huh? Actually, no, this is very outdated too. That's missing way too many characters. Where's, like, the Destiny characters and shit? No one has, like, the actual playable characters. That's just another Mothership title one. Tales of Song tier list. Is this supposed to be, like, the opening theme, or just, like, general soundtrack? I don't know, it's not very specific. No one just has the damn characters. I guess I'll just use this one. Gameplay. Where was that other one? Alright, top tier. Judy. Uh, let's see. Where's my boy? Where's best Tails character? Gameplay wise. This is strictly gameplay. Alright, Leon. Leon's up there too. Destiny Leon. Remake Leon. Uh, Yuri. Obvious. There he is. Luger's the best by far. Uh, Jude's a beast. Really fun to play. Uh, Problem is, a lot of these characters they haven't been in an updated combat system, so it's kind of unfair to rank them because they're from like old games that haven't gotten remakes. Shing and Heartsar is awesome. Uh, where's my other favorite? Fucking Chalcedony, love him too. Uh, Asbel's decent, but he's held back by the game he's in. You can't really make a fair tier list with this kind of thing because a lot of these games have not been updated with better battle mechanics. Like Chrono Seraph in here and Anchor Rose and Creed. You can't play as those characters. Probably put all the mages at the bottom because mages weren't fun to play in Tales games at all until Vesperia, pretty much. That's when they started trying to make characters that don't primarily fight in melee combat. They actually tried to make them fun to play. And everything before that, they suck to play. They're pretty much just relegated to, heal slaves. Be it AI, or if you have somebody you play with who's like not super into melee combat, then you can play with them just fine like that. But actually playing as them is very boring. Rinwell and Arise actually looks pretty cool. She looks like she's going to be a pretty cool hybrid mage. I just don't know if the jank of that battle system is really going to let her do anything fun. But Rokuro, I'd put an A. Sheena is trashed here. She has a terrible moveset. It's a shame. I remember being really excited to play as her back in the day, but she has a shit moveset. Oh, Guy is up there too. It helps that he's voiced by Bosch. Velvet A. I will rank some of these characters on their Ray's incarnation. A lot of them are way more fun to play in that game because it's more updated. They fixed a lot of the jank with their movesets and stuff. Farah is awesome in Ray's. I'd put her up in A. Leia, I haven't really played as her in Ray's yet. She has a terrible moveset. The first bow staff user, and she sucks to play in her main game. Aizen, I'd give a B. Emil, I'd give a B. He's actually pretty fun to play. And he's even better in Ray's. Gaius was pretty fun. I'd probably give him an A. The voice actor helps too. like Kunzite. I'd give Kunzite probably a B, because in Hearts R he lacks any kind of Helmbreaker move, which really limits what he can do. But he has a really creative moveset though. Kunzite's fucking cool. Where are the Innocence characters? They're like not on here, are they? None of them are on here. A lot of them would be pretty high ranked too. Kohaku I'd give an A. She's pretty fun. Yeah, it's just missing a lot of characters. They don't have the Innocence cast on here at all. I don't know why they're not here. I just noticed I'm like looking for them and they're not there. Oh well, I'm gonna scrap that then. Those are pretty much the best characters up there at the top. Judy, Ludger, Leon, Yuri, Ju, Ching, and Chalcedony. Yeah, they don't have like another one on here. Crestoria F tier. Fuck that game. Garbage. Making a turn-based Tales game is like an irredeemable sin. I should not even have crossed their minds. The game's not doing well either. That's what's hilarious about it, because it's not a Tales game. It's not a Tales game. It's just another generic turn-based RPG. And there's like literal thousands of those on mobile. Oh, I did this one already. Yeah, this is my old tier list. Yeah, Hermana is top tier too. I love playing as her in the remake. Chalcedony, Regal. Spada's a beast too. I love Spada. Yeah, Luke in Abyss sucks. So does Sheena. Ash is way better than Luke. Picking Walter. Walter's playable in Rays. Ross is playable now. That's pretty fucking cool. Ion is playable. Van, Sync, Peony. You know what they need to make playable? They need to make Tyson playable in Rays. I felt like Tyson deserved to be playable, but he was not. I really like Sync in Rays too. Sync is really cool to play. QQ is pretty cool too. Anje. Yeah, there's Tyson. Fucking Victor. Bisley. Poor Caius. Poor Caius and Rubia. Tilkus and Forrest. They're stuck in a shit game that never got remade. They were going to remake Tempest, but they just kind of stopped. Both Innocence and Heartsar, they all allude to there being something called a Triverse, where like all three of those games that were going to get remakes, they were all supposed to be in the same universe. And they heavily implied that there was going to be a Tempest remake, but it never came to be. Out of all three of those games, that game needed the remake the most. Vanilla Innocence is not bad. It's just limited by the fact that it's a mid-era DS game. So the graphics suck. The game is padded out really badly. The dungeon design is awful. The battle system was actually pretty cool. They had like air combos in it, and the AI was actually very intelligent. Some of the best AI, ironically, out of all the Tales games is in Vanilla Innocence. They were very smart. They were good about continuing combos and stuff, but It definitely did need a remake. Hearts wasn't terrible. It just was kind of a button mashy battle system. Hearts R is pretty much objectively better. They added a lot more mechanics to it. It was more fun to play overall. Alvin's just down here because he keeps leaving the damn party. Did I put Mel in here? Where's Mel? Do they have Mel in here? I do not see Mel. They have fucking that guy. I don't remember his name. They don't have Mel in here. I'm not seeing Mel. I'm trying to find her in here. She's not here. Alvin's a good example of why you can't really kill off or have Tails characters leave for a long period of time, because due to the fact that it's not turn-based, you can't easily replace them. It's like a fighting game character just randomly leaving the character select screen. It just does not work. And Alvin, they always try to do like a traitor plot in Tales. Most Tales games have that kind of subplot where somebody betrays you and then they obviously come back. And Alvin does come back, but he leaves like every 5 minutes in the first Zelia. So even if you like playing as him, he's useless. There's no point in investing in his equipment or anything because he keeps leaving. It's a lot easier to do that kind of shock value thing where a character leaves for an extended period of time. It's a lot harder to do it in a Tales game because it's an entire unique moveset that's inaccessible. And there's a number of reasons why that doesn't work. The first is that if you like playing that character and they just go off on vacation for a couple hours, then you have to learn to play somebody else, which in a Tales game is easier said than done, depending on what game they're from. The other is that investing resources into them is stupid because they're not around. You would be much better off putting resources into their protagonist or the sub-protagonist, the female lead or something. Somebody who's consistently not going to leave. It just does not work. You can do that in like Persona or something. Persona has dabbled with characters dying permanently and stuff. It's because it's more feasible to do that kind of shock value thing in a turn-based RPG because you can easily just give somebody else that same moveset or that same kind of role in the party, and it's like, the impact is there, but it doesn't affect the gameplay. Whereas in Final Fantasy and Persona have done that kind of thing before. But in a Tales game, it just doesn't work. And Alvin is, I don't know what the hell they were thinking. He's not bad to play as. He's definitely slow, but he's a heavy hitter. It's just, you're not going to put the time to play as him when he's not there. He's constantly gone. Yeah, they do that in a lot of Tales games, but Alvin was the worst iteration of that trope because it's just something that does not work gameplay wise. It could kill somebody off in Final Fantasy or Dragon Quest or Persona just fine, but it just doesn't work gameplay. Ironically, they did that with these two characters here, Dazelle and Zavid. Dazelle dies in Zestiria, but then Zavid becomes playable and he's a clone. That was their way of fixing it. It's like, okay, we really want to kill off this character, but we've wisened up to the fact that making an entire moveset removed from gameplay doesn't really work in the context of, a Tales game. So he comes in and he has the exact same moveset, which kind of dampens the excitement of getting a new party member because he's the same as the guy who just died, but he just looks different and he has different voice lines. But it was the lesser of two evils for sure. You know, if you really like the three moves you have in that game, you could still play as them. But I feel like that was a direct response to Alvin. How much people hated how much he left. It's like, okay, we still want to kill off a character, but we're just going to give you the same moveset back. Which is not satisfying either, because you're just playing as a clone. It's like Samurai Warriors 5, you know. You don't want to play as a character skin, you want to play as an actual character. I'm gonna take my meds, I'll be right back. It's making me want to play the Yosuke Yasui soundtrack game. I have a couple of those. He is a very underrated video game musician. That guy does not get enough recognition. Pretty much any game he's involved with is better to play just because of the music. Even if the gameplay is something wrong with it. I wish I could buy the Natsuki Chronicles soundtrack, but they don't have it. That game has a really great Yosuke Yasui soundtrack. I don't think you can buy it. No, you can't buy it digitally, which is really weird. Okay, what the hell is that? That's not the soundtrack. Yeah, I need to hear that first level theme. That shit's a banger.
Natsuki Chronicle.
Best soundtrack. Soundtrack. Boss theme's fire too. Every track in this game is very good. Well, that guy is just incapable of making a bad track. He is physically incapable. I mean, you kind of have to like Yamaha 2612 stuff to really like his music, but if you do, he's very consistent. Definitely one of the best musicians out right now that, or veteran musicians at least, that does Yamaha 2612 stuff. There's actually a couple games on Steam that have music from him. I don't really think he gets big gigs anymore. I think it's mostly smaller stuff like that. Oh, that's definitely that game I was playing is probably one of the most modern shmups. It has like leveling up and kind of a Tyrian style ship customization. It's not just a straight arcade game. It's a shame that it didn't really get much traction. It's a really good game though. I need to finish it at some point. I just don't know when I'll have time. I wish I could legally buy that soundtrack. I don't want the CD. I just want to buy it digitally. I'm not a music collector at all. You can't buy it. It's just a sin. It's just weird because there's another game of his that with his music on Steam, and you can just buy the soundtrack on here for like $5. For whatever reason, you can't do that with Natsuki. Sucks. Definitely want to support the musician too. I don't want to go pirate it. I want like the actual. I want to actually support him. It still makes that kind of music. Yeah, you can buy the soundtrack to Eschatos for $5. It's one of the best modern retro OSTs by a fucking mile. It's a great soundtrack. I listen to it a lot. I actually played one of the songs from that soundtrack earlier today while I was doing the tier lists. I can't find a way to buy that soundtrack digital. They have it on YouTube, but it's like I want to actually support the musician. I don't want to just pirate it on YouTube. Video game music preservation is just as bad as the actual video games themselves. most most video games that didn't come out in the last like decade or so, you can't legally get the soundtracks. People have to rip them. I've done some soundtrack ripping before. Or it's like Natsuki Chronicles where the soundtrack is available, but you have to buy it on the CD, which is not really helpful for me. All I would do with the CD is just rip the soundtrack. I just rip it off there and then put it on something more modern like my phone. Or just take the raw files and play it on here. I actually did that with the Escaluda 2 soundtrack. That game, when it came out on 360, it actually came with the soundtrack. The entire soundtrack on the CD for no extra cost. So I just ripped it. I still have those files today. That's my own rip. I ripped that myself. There was something I was going to do, and I can't remember right now. I'm drawing blanks. I'm getting too tired. It's like 2:30 in the morning. There was one more thing I was going to do. I just can't think of it right now. I think I'm going to get to bed. Oh, yeah, I know what I was going to do. I was going to show A very important trailer came out today. This is very exciting stuff if you like shmups. Some very good news came out today. Let me pull it up here. Escalada 2 Switch trailer dropped today, which is actually my favorite cave shmup out of all of them. I really enjoy this game, and I bought the 360 version ages ago. The game was stuck on that console. Now it's actually going to be released in like 2 weeks.
ずっとこの時を待っていた。必ずします。
Oh man, I can't wait to play as a lolly. I'm so thrilled. I never actually played the Black Label mode. I wonder how it's different. Yep, got Tate mode, which is a must. I'm very excited for that. I know that's not something that most of you will care about, but I really like that game. So I hope I know they're gonna do Daifukatsu is gonna be next, I think. I want them to do Saidai Ojo, as I really want to play that game, but that's not really accessible on anything except Exa Arcadia, which good luck playing that in America. At least not here where I live. No one's going to get an Exa Arcadia cabinet over here. So hopefully those games do well, and they start doing the ones that did not get ports. Yeah, I want to play Saidai Ojo the most. So I like the Dodonpachi games too. Right now they've only committed to 3. There's that one. There's Escalada 2, there's Mushihime-sama, which is already out, and then there's Dodonpachi Daifukatsu. But the other 2 are not very interesting because they're already available on Steam, so the main benefit to it being on Switch is you have easy access to Tate mode, which, depending on how sweaty you are, how sweaty and hardcore you are, that might be enough to buy it again, but you can buy those games on Steam, so the Switch ports aren't interesting. The Escalada 2 has not been available on anything for over a decade, so it's actually a pretty big deal that it is, it's going to be at least partially preserved. They did say they were going to put it on PC at some point, too. I guess if it sells on the Switch. Which is good for preservation. Should, I mean, I'll definitely support them. I'm all for games like that actually getting noticed and brought back, because, I just spent like half this stream trying to get Tales games to work because they don't bother to actually preserve them at all. So, anybody that's taking an effort to take great games like that aren't like super popular but still deserving of preservation, they're going to get my money. Alright, well, I think that's going to do it for tonight. It's 2:30 in the morning. I'm going to go ahead and hop off. It's the end of the month, so I'm broke, so I don't really have anything to do today besides usual stuff like kitty sitting. I'll be going over there for lunch, so I have some leftover pizza over at my neighbor's house. So, yeah, I'll probably do like one house stream, and then I probably won't do kitty sitting streams for a while, because I've been playing Innocence R, and I can't stream that, so... I think kitty sitting streams are going to be temporarily dead, and most people don't really watch those anyway, so I don't think much is lost. It's been pretty chill just playing that game and just watching a stream on the phone. It doesn't help that the service games I'm playing, I get to play them for like 20-30 minutes each, and then I'm kind of left with a couple minutes to just play old games, and that's it. So that's been a part of it too, but yeah, it's not that I haven't felt like streaming over there, it's just that I've been playing Innocence R, because that got an English patch recently, and I was able to rip my old legal copy and get that running. So yeah, I'll probably do 2 house streams today. This one doesn't count, because this one started yesterday. I started this around 11. But yeah, probably do more LMBS eulogy service. Need to see the LMBS off because they don't want to do it anymore. And I fucking love the LMBS. I wish that they would not kill it off, but hopefully I'll like Arise more than I think. Speaking of which, I'm trying to raise some funds, so if you want to help, there's the link. Next month is going to be crazy expensive, so anything I could get to soften the blow is going to mean more content for you guys. But I should be able to get most of the games without help. It just would be nice if I didn't have to dump all my earnings into the games for the channel. Yeah, we'll worry about that later. I'll see you guys probably in the afternoon.